It's interesting looking at young voters. A report from Decision Desk HQ released this week that Gen Z voters, they appear to be charting a different political course than millennials, and noted that multiple indicators suggest, or point to rather, a substantial Republican gain among Gen Z voters. So look, when you're looking at this group, I think it's fair to say, particularly among men, that there are plenty of young moderate Democrats actually have moved over to the Republican Party. And I would say that's partly due to movements created by, I should say, the late and brilliant Charlie Kirk, that what he created with his movement, speaking at college campuses. And also the Democrat Party at the moment, as you say, it's hard to know where they stand on so many issues. They appear to be way too far to the left still. They haven't learnt many lessons from last year's election results. But looking at Gen Z voters, I mean, how on earth are Democrats going to win them over?
This is an extraordinary poll, I have to say. Usually, the consensus or the prevailing wisdom is that people tend to start left, they start left, and they
Yes.
get mugged by reality and go right. And this is a complete reversal of that trend. What's also interesting is that these Gen Zers appear to be more right wing than their millennial forebears,
Mm.
which is, again, another interesting feature of this. I think a lot of it comes down to authenticity. What we saw in the 2024 election was Donald Trump willing to go on Theo Von, Joe Rogan, Andrew Schultz, go on all these podcasts and have these unscripted conversations for hours and hours and hours. And on some level, Zoom is connected with that. That just could not be said for Kamala Harris, who would have to come in heavily scripted. We'd get interviews like the ones we just saw. And again, we wouldn't learn anything about who she was as a person or what her beliefs were. And I don't think Democrats are learning from this. There was a big Wired report that came out the other day showing that dark money groups were secretly funding or paying off Democratic high profile influencers to
Mm.
basically push these lines, these party lines. And I'm sorry, if you can't find a way to organically connect, much as Charlie Kirk did
Mm.
on these American campuses, they are just not going to be able to pull them back.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. Now, US President Donald Trump, well, he's launched an attack at the United Nations General Assembly. Let's just take a listen to what he said.
I don't mind making the speech without a teleprompter because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you, nevertheless, and that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble.
Well, James, your point about authenticity, you know that is what you're getting when you're listening to Donald Trump there off script. But look, on a serious note, looking at his speech there, he called out the climate change alarmism. He called the push for renewables a con job, and he told global leaders that your countries are going to hell. He blasted, of course, not just green energy, but also uncontrolled migration, a huge issue over in Europe. Now, Trump has also been meeting with several global leaders there, including Volodymyr Zelensky, and Donald Trump has now declared that Ukraine can take back all of its lost territory, saying Kyiv is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. He wrote on Truth Social, after getting to know and fully understand the Ukraine-Russia military and economic situation, and after seeing the economic trouble it is causing Russia, I think Ukraine, with the support of the European Union, is in a position to fight and win all of Ukraine back in its original form. Now, he also went on to say that with time, patience and financial support of Europe and in particular NATO, the original borders from where this war started is very much an option. James, this is a major shift of position from Donald Trump.
It's an extraordinary shift, and I actually think it's a testament to his ideological flexibility that he's willing to countenance such a move. Let's not forget, at the start of his presidency, he was really pushing and squeezing Ukraine to start coming to the negotiating table, pull away some of these more outlandish demands, and say, let's hash out a deal. As it's transpired over the last few months, it wasn't Ukraine that was the guilty party. It was very much Russia. And what we saw is whenever they did come to the negotiating table, Putin would smile and wave and shake hands and then go away and launch some of the biggest aerial strikes we'd ever seen. And this is just an insult to Trump, which he's going to take personally, and it's an insult to America, which has the largest economic and military arsenal in the world. So I actually think he's doing a great job of playing the negotiator once again,
Yeah.
testing out different angles, different areas. And let's see how Russia responds to this, because clearly they didn't respond to the carrot. Let's see how they respond to the stick.
Yeah, very interesting to note. James Billow, newsroom editor at Unheard, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.